the Vice President Thabo Mbeki, but finally proceedings are underway. Mr. Ellery blows his whistle, and Brazil against South Africa, a dream for many just a couple of years ago, is now reality. And very early, Rivaldo with the touch for the Brazilians. Sean Bartlett coming across. This is Savio, he'll be a danger man tonight. Eric Tinkler got a touch in there early, and Dr. Khumalo getting it wide to Helman Mkalele. Finds Khumalo, plays a good one too. Mkalele will be operating down the flank for most of this game. He's got wicket turner pace. He's been doing well with these long-range shooting in recent matches, but dispossessed on that occasion by Amaral. Bebeto, always foraging, always looking for the ball. Now support from Flavio, another one of the exciting youngsters earmarked with a great future for Brazil. And they are, as the coach Zagallo has been saying over the last 2 or 3 days since their arrival in South Africa, building towards France in 1998. Their first mission is the Atlanta Olympics. They automatically qualify, of course, for the World Cup, so that will be their second target. This is a good ball wide. Andre Luiz. And the first corner of the night is forced off of Lucas Radebe.
Interesting to note, Mark, even we're going a minute, how South Africa concentrating on putting players around the ball. They're not going to give the Brazil, and I think it's good tactic by Clive Barker, even so early in the game, they're not going to give them too much soon. If they do, they're going to pay for it.
Bebeto will be the man to take the corner, just moving the cameraman out of the way. Certainly a big contingent of international media here tonight. Swings it in. Header there from Flavio. Savio going up. Toby was as well. And Radebe certainly taking no chances conceding the second corner. But anxious moments there in the goalmouth for South Africa, and perhaps jittery.
Too many players, Mark. We've got too many players. And when you have too many players, each one's waiting for you to go for the ball. Pick up man to man, and then there's no problems. You have a job to do.
Bebeto this time knocks it way and wide. A little too strong there.
I've never seen that before. It's an extraordinary corner kick.
Mark Fish now, his first touch of the ball. The darling of the South African fans after his performances during the Nations Cup. Radebe back to goalkeeper Andre Arendse. He's got Bebeto to watch out for. A little dangerous in his early stages. Cesar Mutong being forced back. Man on him is Rivaldo. And Mutong really landing himself in all sorts of unnecessary trouble there. And Brazil, as a result, have a throw-in.
Brazil actually defending in the attacking third of the field, which is great stuff, really.
Flavio wide to Aldair, first touch for the captain tonight, and he'll be looking to target Bebeto. Toby got the header away. This is taken down by Andre Luiz. Now the wide ball. Arendse stands his ground, headed away by Radebe. And now Eric Tinkler, and the crowd urging him to push it forward now. South Africa really haven't been in the Brazilian half at all. This will be the first one down the line to the speed of Sean Bartlett, and let's see if he can tease and turn the defender Zé Maria and force the first corner for the home side.
Made a great run down the line, Sean Bartlett, but he was tailed and tracked all the way by number 4 Alexander. Again, we said, Mark, before, don't you keep emphasising the point, but these Brazilians are very, very good defenders.
So Clive Barker willing on his troops, the South African coach. The corner will be taken by Khumalo. And he does all the set pieces. Dida gets up well to pull that out under pressure, and very quickly the Brazilians come out of their goal. This is Rivaldo. It's a big night for him. He has to show Coach Zagallo that he should be included in the Olympic squad as one of the 3 overage players. They will be taking an under-23 side to that particular tournament, but they'll be allowed to use 3 overage players, and Rivaldo is a little bit of a surprise choice. They were thinking of Bebeto, Aldair and Dunga, one man for each of the defence, midfield and attack, but Rivaldo has been given his opportunity by Coach Zagallo, and tonight is his night to show what he's made of. This is Mark Fish.
Rivaldo, Mark, is the free kick specialist as well. Anything round the box, we'll see him having a shot with a great left foot.
Tinkler now. He can speak Portuguese, of course. Eric Tinkler plays in Portugal for Vitória Setúbal, and if he can get through that thick Brazilian accent, he might be able to pass on a couple of the tips what the Brazilians are giving their teammates. There's a bit of space wide out there. Lucas Radebe caught for a second, but Savio is forced to go wide by Roberto's pass. Running inside from Savio, gets the shot in. Wide of Andre Arendt's goal, but that's the first real attempt on goal.
I actually was a bit concerned there when Savio went wide there with Lucas Radebe. There was actually no cover, so if he beats Radebe, he actually was in and shot on goal. I think that's what we've got to be careful of. When people like Savio attack us, Neil told me to me should have been closer there instead of too far away, so Savio got round Radebe and hit the side netting.
Arendt's with a kick. Well, the international match between South Africa and Brazil has just started at Soccer City, some 20 minutes late. We've had just 6 minutes of play, and already the young Brazilian side has shown us some of the pedigree for which they are well renowned. A shot early on from Savio, just going wide of the goal. South Africa barely having a chance inside the Brazilian half. Only one run down the flank by Shaun Bartlett, which earned them a corner. But in these early stages, the Brazilians are certainly showing the pedigree for which they are well renowned around the world. The 4 times winners of the World Cup up against the African champions. It's a dream match tonight, but with just 6 minutes gone, far too early to give any prognosis on how it's going to go, save for it's going to be a very, very difficult evening for the African champions against this quality team from Brazil. Captain Aldair is one of 3 overage players in the Brazilian side tonight, along with Roberto. South Africa making 2 changes from the team that won the African Nations Cup final. John Mueti replacing John Machweo, and Helman and Kulele also in the team. So real trouble here now for the South African side. Dr. Khumalo. Nice bit of skill from him. Tinkler will try and find Bartlett. That's asking a bit too much of the striker from America. And cleared away by Alexander Lopes. Tinkler again. Leaving it now for Khumalo. Bobbling around on the edge of the box there. They went over the head of Bartlett. Amazing, Shaun Bartlett had not been in the South African team before November. He's tonight earning his 11th cap. Certainly has come on in leaps and bounds since first being brought into the squad by Clive Barker. In fact, he's got 4 goals in those 11 matches, and some of them vital in the Nations Cup. You'll remember with great affection that goal he scored straight from the break against Ghana in the semi-final.
You know, Mark, you look at a Brazilian player, and on the ball, you don't know if he's a midfield player or a forward or whatever. They're all so comfortable on the ball. They've got great first touch, and it enables them to produce the skills all the time. Number 5, Flavio, plays in front of the back 4.
Number 8 is Amaral. This is Bebeto now. The big name that everyone has come to watch now tonight. Finds Jameli. Bebeto, this time the ball is blocked. All sorts of trouble here for Andre Arendt's. Now the South Africans look rather jittery in these opening stages of the game. Pushing there by Sizwe Motong on Rivaldo, and quickly taken 2. Here comes the shot, and it's a little difficult in the end for Flavio because the ball bobbled just as he was taking it and went well wide of Andre Arendt's goal.
What puzzles me a little bit is what happened to kicking the ball out for a throw-in. We played the ball back to a goalkeeper, we put him in trouble, we defended the forwards around him. Why don't we just kick the thing for a throw-in and avert any danger and just give a throw-in away?
That's a long one forward by Arendt's. Khumalo now. Here's a chance for South Africa to maybe conjure something up. Khumalo gets past, gets the shot in. Just wide of goal from Dr. Khumalo. A little bit of trickery for which he's well known. Khumalo saw his opportunity. He scored against Argentina in this match last year, and obviously has his sights on goal in this particular game too.
Yes, they seem to underestimate Dr. Khumalo there. Beautiful sidestep and a raking shot just past the far post. Wasn't that far away, and I think the keeper was beaten.
Header from Tinkler. Mueti battling in there. Play on, says the referee. Bartlett's also involved. Taken away by Mueti. Looking for the big frame of Phil Masinga. He'll be closely watched tonight, the Leeds United reserve.
think the man for me in the South African side at this moment, Mark, is definitely Lucas Radebe. I think actually he's done an awful lot to give Mark Fish the credit he's got. Not underestimating Mark Fish, but I think Radebe's been the real consolidating factor there. It's allowing Mark Fish to make his sorties upfield.
Goalkeeper Dida has an African as his understudy in Brazil at the Cruzeiro club in Sao Paulo. William Undum from Cameroon, who had 3 goals scored past him at this stadium in early January in the opening match of the Nations Cup. South Africa beat Cameroon 3-0. Undum is one of several African players now playing in Brazil. That's going to be a yellow card for Lucas Radebe for the foul on Bebeto.
Mark, this has been worrying me for some time. I still think in our league games we tackle too much from behind. Unless we cut it out, when we play games like this against international sides, we won't know what to do. We can't afford to give free kicks away and have yellow cards so early in the game.
Long ball wide from Rivaldo. Helman and Kalele's come back to help out in defence. Andre Arendse, that's not a very strong kick out, but luckily for him, falling straight to the feet of John Musleo. Now, Mark Fish looking for Phil Masinga. He's got Aldair to beat, and well, tugged away at him. So the Brazilians come away with it. Jameli. Now Rivaldo. And Bebeto being closely trailed by the South African defence. He's been given an inch nor a quarter by Lucas Radebe, who spoke that yellow card for his trouble. Dr. Khumalo getting a bit of his own medicine there, with the ball played through his legs and then hauled back for obstruction.
Be interesting to see how Bebeto handles his tackling from behind. Obviously he must change his tactics, he must move away and come back again and get space rather than just keep coming for the ball.
Lopes back to his goalkeeper as Mark Fish giving chase. This is a good turn from Jameli. Only as far as Tinkler though. Khumalo. Ueti wide out to Helman and Kalele. He's got a bit of space in which to operate. Looks up, can he get the cross in? Looking for the big four Masinga. Far too far behind the front runners. Tinkler back in again, offside.
We're talking about the turn there that Flavio made. That's the sort of thing Bebeto must be doing now. With people coming right up his back, he must make a quick, sharp turn and get away. But I'm sure a man of his ability will soon suss that out for himself. Andre
Luis from Sao Paulo, the team who won the World Cup Championship a couple of years ago in Japan, coached by the famous Telly Santana.
And this year, Mark, they only just made the final of the Brazilian Championship. They actually didn't win it.
To Eric Tinkler. His club Vitória Setúbal are heading for promotion in the second division in Portugal, but Tinkler's contract runs out at the end of the year, and there's a lot of talk of him going to England. He's a dual South African Portuguese citizen, so he will, under terms of the European Union regulations, be allowed to play in England.
I understand what the interesting club is Aston Villa.
Khumalo once had a trial with Aston Villa, number 15, playing it now to Nkalele. Gets past the one player. Khumalo now. Well, he was quickly blocked there by Flavio. Ueti. Well, Masinga didn't read it. He was saying, chip it over, let me run onto it instead of run ahead of it. Savio to Bebeto.
Well, he got his answer to the turn. He just rolled the guy superbly, and I think David Ella was a little bit unkind after the tackles he received from the back, giving a free kick against him there. I thought Bebeto should have been allowed to carry on with that.
So a lucky break, perhaps for the home side, South Africa. This is John Ueti now, the Young Pirates player who got just one appearance during the Nations Cup final. So that, John Ueti, who made his debut against Lesotho back in March, was earning for himself what would be his sixth cap. This is Tinkler. Khumalo. No, as you say, Eddie, you don't shoot, you don't score. So the Brazilian goalkeeper Dida not troubled by that kick from Dr. Khumalo. I think that's into the path of Bebeto. Lucas Kadebe, who had a great game against Ghana in the man-marking role with Tony Yeboah as his prey. Tonight has another big-name footballer to take charge of. A couple of South African players in the past have had some big man-marking jobs, high-profile matches. We remember Neil Tovey in the match in Zambia in that Nations Cup qualifier really marked Kalusha Boya right out of the game, and then Sizwe Mutong had a great game against Jürgen Klinsmann in December in that friendly against the Germans.
If you remember in the league game as well, Mark, Lucas Radebe marked Stan Collymore of Liverpool right out of the game. Really did a superb job, and it looks as though Radebe's been given the job of picking up Bebeto man for man. Interesting to see how Bebeto will react to that.
Aronsa collects at the second attempt, no, cleared away by Mutong, wasn't taking any chances. He certainly has been under pressure more from his own players than from the Brazilians in these early stages under Aronsa.
You detect a little bit of rest there, Mark, I did.
He hasn't played, of course, since the Nations Cup final. Mutong, the ball is lost by Masinga. Space here wide for Savio. Now this could be dangerous. This is the man from Flamengo who is the new glory boy of Brazilian football. Flavio playing it in. This is Rivaldo. Amaral rather. Now Zé Maria. He got 2 goals against Ghana in that 8-2 victory. Did Zé Maria, the fullback. They had a feast that evening, the Brazilians. They were 2-1 up at half-time. Won the game 8-2 against Ghana. That was their last international outing, played just outside of Sao Paulo. This is Jameli, plays for Santos. And the cross in there, cleared away by Mark Fish. Off what looked like the head of Rivaldo. Jameli, he's got 2 Africans as his teammates, of course. Arthur Zwane from the former Jomo Cosmos player. Here he is again, Jameli. And Kennedy Nagoli, who also played for Cosmos and who was sold by Jomo Sono. He's a Zimbabwean international, both playing for Santos at the moment.
Great covering by Mark Fish there, but it looks as though the Brazilians are now decided to take the ball. They're not going to try and stop it. In view of the tackling from behind, they're just taking it in the stride one way, and it's going to be difficult for the South Africans to get tight under these circumstances.
Play on. Flavio got himself a little mix there, but came out with it. This is Bebeto now. He was in this country 24 hours before the rest of his teammates. Caught a direct flight from Spain, where he plays for Coruña. That's a good turn, but John Moretti read it well. Back to the goalkeeper. And Aronson knocking it long for Phil Masinga to give chase to. He certainly hasn't got any service yet in this game for Masinga. And knowing full, he'll be telling his teammates about that too.
And Sean Bartlett, well, he's not shy either.
So Zé Maria. Alexander Lopez playing the short 1-2 with Andre Luis.
I really admire the Brazilians with the way they bring in the youngsters on. You say there's just 3 guys over the age of 23. And there must be some great Brazilian players about who are not really aged players, but top players, but they've ignored them, particularly Romario, who Zagallo says he has so many problems with that he's decided to leave him out, which is really very brave of the man.
Also in the Brazilian side that Zagallo has on hand for the Atlanta games, he's able to choose from Juninho, who plays for Middlesbrough at the moment, the very exciting Roberto Carlos with Inter Milan, and also on view in Europe at the moment is the youngster Ronaldo, who's doing so well with PSV Eindhoven in Holland. These 3 players not included in the squad for this particular trip because of their obvious reluctance of the European sides to allow them tonight. Although it must be said that tonight is a big football night around the world. There's a whole lot of South American World Cup qualifiers being played. Argentina are in action for one, and friendlies all over Europe. Masinga playing it in the middle here, looking for Bartlett. Conceded there by Andre Luis. South Africa will have a throw-in. Some of the friendlies tonight, the Germans are playing the Dutch in Holland, England against Croatia,
Wembley, yes.
Scotland, Denmark. So it's a big football night around the world. Teams preparing for the European Championships.
In your list of players, Mark, don't forget also Branco, the dead ball specialist, who is absolutely a brilliant kicker of dead ball, who's joined you know, with Brian Robson at Middlesbrough.
He's another candidate for one of the 3 overage berths at the Olympics. And I think Aldair will be their choice at the back. And Zagalo has said he's going to take 1 striker, 1 defender and 1 midfielder from the senior citizen camp, as it were. Roberto is sure to be one, Aldair the other, and then the midfield spots will be up for grabs. And number 10 tonight, Rivaldo, is the man who has been given an opportunity. That's cheeky for Mark Fish, but it worked. Here's Lucas Radebe now. Long one, flags up for offside against Phil Masinga.
Mark, in terms of international caps, South Africa, if you take out Rivaldo and Aldair and Bebeto, South Africa got far more caps. And I was actually looking at young man Alexander, who's 21 from Corinthians. He's actually only been a professional for 1 year, which I think is absolutely amazing. And again, speaks volumes for the bravery of Mario Zagala. This is the young man on the ball now, Alexander. Corinthians, one of the top clubs in Brazil. The great Socrates made his name there in the days of Zico and these people, and he's continuing the tradition. Corinthians being one of the top 2 sides in Brazil at the moment.
This is Jameli. That's a nice ball to Savio. Now he's got Rivaldo next to him, looking for the 1-2. Mouton with a cover defence and conceding the corner.
Without wishing to give coaching lessons, Mark, I think it's brilliant to note how superb their first touch control, the Brazilians. When it comes to them, the ball is absolutely dead. I think it's a lesson we can all learn from them.
So Mouton and Arendse keeping watch. Neil Tovey does the cleaning up. And let's see now if Dr. Kumalo can set Soccer City alight. It's a wonderful night for football, 26 degrees, and we've got a packed house. Helmut Mkalele now. Can he get there before the veteran Aldair? Gets the shot in, and Dina forced to make a good save. Well, Mkalele's confidence with those long-range shooting growing by the day. He got that great goal in the Top 8 Cup final. But full credit to the youngster there, turning, not wasting any time looking up. Set his sights, looking in here, turns inside Zé Maria, and well, that was going goalwards.
It was going inside, you know, as I say, Helmut Mkalele shooting. He had, as you said, Mike, he's got a great goal against Kwakwa, and he's now just taken off where he left off. And this is the answer: you must shoot, make the keeper make a save.
Kumalo's corner. South Africa packing in the numbers there. Radebe gets the header in. Cleared away by Zé Maria. South Africa will have to get back in numbers. They scored a number of brilliant goals from corner kicks during the Nations Cup. We remember the overhead kick from John Mashweo against Ghana in the semi-final. In the match against Cameroon, the ball was bobbling all over the place before Mark Williams buried it. That's John Moretti with the tackle on Savio. Zé Maria, Savio. Radebe now taking charge of Savio. Brazilians just being forced back a little bit. This is good play from South Africa. Now Flavio. Roberto giving chase with Cisma Mouton.
When you've got great technical ability as the Brazilians got, you can play your way out to any situation with short passes, and I think it's something we must all strive for. Jameli,
he looks a busy little man, does Jameli tonight, earning only his 2nd cap for Brazil, his first one against Ghana a couple of weeks ago.
Of course, he plays for Pele's old team, Santos, Mark. Pele scored 1,000 goals in club soccer for Santos.
Now Masinga. Moretti, Mkalele. To get away with that bobble on the first touch. Masinga, good turn, but Aldair stood firm. Now Moretti, they're getting themselves bunched up a little bit there. Mkalele, can he get there first? Turn it back. That was well covered by Zé Maria, but good play from South Africa. And the man waiting in the middle for the return pass, and perhaps now the confidence, Eddie, of the home side beginning to come through.
Well, you said earlier on, Mark, we've seen flight over him, and now with Helmut Mekele having great shot and taking the fullback Maria on. They're definitely looking more confident, and this is something we need. We've realised that these guys are human beings after all.
So South Africa's third corner, Khumalo to take it. Kadebe, the keeper came, and Masinga has scored! For Masinga's goal, the goalkeeper came, completely missed it, and I think for Masinga just stuck his head in there, and he has now got goal number 8 for South Africa, and that's coming exactly 20 minutes into the match.
As you say, Mark, with a chip from Dr. Khumalo, Philliman got his head to it and the ball just lofted over the top. The keeper came, he was miles away. He just off his head, beats the fullback on the line, Zamiria. South Africa 1, Brazil 0.
They get 25 minutes for the goal. The 25th minute for Masinga's 8th for South Africa. He's now back on top as the country's leading goal scorer. But Masinga, well, he might have closed his eyes there. The ball just fell perfectly on his head. The keeper missed it completely. And for Masinga has put the home team ahead. He hasn't seen much of the ball. But my word, when it was important for him to have his body in the way, it was there. And South Africa are 1-0 to the good.
Maria on the line, Mark, instead of staying on the line, he actually took a yard forward and the ball just went over his head. An amazing goal by Phil Masinga. As you say, I don't think he knew anything about it, but that's the score, 1-0.
Rivaldo's shot was blocked. Khumalo now. Sean Bartlett, this is good skill, gets the shot in, just wide of goal.
What a great early ball, a great run by Sean Bartlett, and the ball was played early. The ball was played early, Sean made a run, the ball was played into his back, he had a first time shot just past the post, just what the doctor ordered.
Well, the doctor delivered as well, but that wasn't far away, and the bobble was very difficult for Dida.
Mark, if you saw Sean Bartlett and he actually got his foot too far around the ball, he pulled the top of it, if he got a sweeter strike, it could have been a goal, could you imagine? 2-0. Mark Fish going into the penalty area now, and one of his sorties. I hope he doesn't leave any holes at the back, because they counter-attack very, very quickly.
Oh, great save from Dida, from Helmut and Kalere, but it certainly is shoot on sight here today from South Africa. They are peppering the goal from all sorts of angles, and this Brazilian goalkeeper is earning his money tonight.
Well, I did the game, Mark, when Pirates beat Kwakwa, and Helmut Mekele was shooting onside all the time, and the goalie actually scored. He didn't even stop it, he whacked it with his left foot, and as I say, he's taken over tonight, and really we're giving Brazil a hard time.
So 1-0 to South Africa if you just joined us. Goal from Masinga after 25 minutes. Goalkeeper flapping at the ball under pressure from Fish. Fish fouling, and the free kick to be taken by the Brazilians. Now, it might be a little early to talk, and luckily we've got a big piece of wood in front of us, so we'll tap it while I tell you that South Africa, or Brazil rather, have lost one of their last 40 matches in international football. There's still plenty of football left, but, well, if South Africa can make it 10 tonight, this is a scoreline that will reverberate around the world.
I'm so pleased to see Helmut Mekele open on the left, Mark. He comes inside with his right foot and he shoots. He's not as effective when he plays on the right-hand side. I'm so pleased that he's pushed wide on the left-hand side. And Doctor's pushed inside with him. Instead of Doctor coming wide on the right, he's pushed across. There he is now. I'm sure he's looking for Helmut Mekele. There we go. Khumalo to Helmut Mekele.
Now, the ball in search of Bartlett, cleared away by Lopes, Alexander Lopes. That was a little dangerous from Maria, but the decision was gone for the earlier challenge. Here they come. This is Flavio looking for Bebeto, and Khadebe losing his footing there, but he's quickly onto Bebeto. He knows how to play the big boys now after 2 seasons in England. Jameli for Brazil. Rivaldo playing it back to Maria. This is Bebeto once more. Now with Andre Luiz, they're pushing forward in numbers, these Brazilians. Let's see what he can do. Pushes it onto his right foot. Rivaldo. They look like a South African team trying to prize an opening for themselves on the edge of the box.
But all through the middle as well. I'm a little bit surprised. One of the things they must do is go wide out. I'm sure I don't have to tell them that, but they looked a little bit, as you say, like an SA side, trying to go down the middle instead of bringing it wide and pulling the defenders out. Who cares, Mark?
1-0 up the score at the moment for Masinga with the goal. It must be added that it was a gift from the goalkeeper. He has a chance. for Masinga to maybe conjure something up for his front-running partner. Bartlett takes on the experience of Aldair, runs himself into a bit of trouble with those lanky legs. And Zemaria comes away with it. Jameli now with Amaral. Amaral tonight, also one of the youngsters in this Brazilian side. He, with very little experience, just his 6th cap tonight. Armin Kulele from Orlando Pirates. Playing the 1-2. Bartlett, and that didn't come off.
Mark, what he mustn't do is stop shooting. Sometimes when a guy's a few shots, he thinks, oh, I can't keep shooting. He must keep coming inside on his right foot and whacking his ball to the far post. He must keep doing it.
Zemaria to Rivaldo. Brazil trying to conjure up an equaliser here. Bebeto beaten to the ball by Lucas Kadebe. But Flavio will try a shot. Cesar Mouton on the turn. This is André Luiz. From Sao Paulo. You can see the Brazilians, according to the computer, certainly have had the great majority of the game, but at the end of the day, it's that scoreline that counts. We need to only to South Africa. Bebeto now, that should go to a goalkeeper fancy.
Yes, Mark, the ball was over the line before he got his foot through. Great defensive work by Lucas Federbi again. As you say, he's certainly learned from playing in England. When you get a good player, you just jockey him, you hold him, you keep your balance, you don't dive in. You make the player make the first move, and that's not always what you're looking for.
John Bartlett, number 10, 11th cap tonight, 4 goals for South Africa, currently playing in the new Major League Soccer in America. Arrived here on yesterday morning. And that hideous 18-hour flight from New York. I don't know how his legs are going to be in the second half. Gave it away to Janelli. Savio wants the ball. Finds André Luiz. Now Savio, just a little too long, but he had the gap in the middle there.
It's amazing how they're trying to work it through the middle. Like I would have thought they're going to be wider with Savio on one side and perhaps Jamel on the other side. Mark Fish moving forward.
And certainly Bebeto and Savio not the biggest of strikers, so aerial play has never been the Brazilian strong point anyway.
But they've never been bad in the air, man. They've not had sort of great headers of the ball, but I mean, Perley wasn't very big, he was a superb header, but they've never been bad at the back.
Maria with a pace, beating Toby, 2 in the middle, Savio and Bebeto. And holds firm.
Thought he did the wrong thing there. I think he tried to knock the ball over Irons's head instead of pulling it back to the way to Bebeto there.
Where Irons's international career has seen him concede just 2 goals in 11 matches. That's some record, I tell you. One against the Egyptians when he came short of just beating Steve Carley's record, and the other one was in that game against Algeria, beaten at the near corner.
Like, if I didn't know any better, I thought Irons came off the post there to give the guy a chance to shoot, and then when he took the opportunity, he just picked it up.
Ronaldo. That's going up to Mr. Tamani in row 7C. Big night for Rivaldo tonight. He has to show his coach, Mario Zagallo, that he is worthy of a place in the Olympic squad
as an overage player. One of the things the conjectures one, Mark, is whether 7 subs on the bench, whether he'll play the 6 outfield players and give everybody a chance. It seems ridiculous to come all the way to South Africa without playing the full complement of players.
I did ask that question before the game started, and they say that Mr. Uri has determined that they will only be allowed the 3 substitutes according to international rules. Phil Masinga has gone in for that lunge on Aldair.
I think I agree with that ruling as well, Mark. I think it makes a bit of a pass to the game, too many changes. Stephen Matonga's been struggling legally this season. He's actually got 3 goals in his past couple of games, but defensively he's been struggling keeping the ball away. I think that's what he's been doing a lot tonight. Kicking it anywhere and giving the ball away. You can't do that against the quality team that can do it.
Not at all. And he'll tell you that just what's that there on the side, shepherd it.
The Gallagher and Madden line, the other coach, I don't know what it is, Mark, but That is a guy who's actually going a little bit berserk there, and I think the guy must be getting a little bit upset now. Because South Africa are looking more confident and overturning, and certainly more than holding their own in midfield.
We're expecting a tough battle, really, given the absence of Australia and Big Rosie. There's Masinga now, gets a shot in.
I find it difficult to understand now, every time the ball goes forward, the Brazilians are left one and one at the back, without a shown ball at the Philip Masinga.
That strike again, he was being watched all the way by Zé Maria.
He'd love to get a shot in now. 10 minutes to half time.
Hit his header. Only as far as Flavio. This is André Luis. Ronaldo. Perhaps trying too much tonight, Ronaldo, and it's beginning to not go his way, and that's when players find it very difficult to lift their game. Maybe a little bit of panic almost setting in. He knows he needs a big individual performance tonight.
Speaks volumes in the South African game, because the man who made that tackle at Rivaldo was Dr. Khumalo, and that's not really part of his game as a ball winner.
Lucas Radebe, perhaps a little optimistic, but it's obviously clear from training this week that Clive Barker has issued instructions to shoot. Shoot they have, South Africa, and tested this goalkeeper Dida. Ironically, the goal though from the corner and the head of Phil Masinga.
If the keeper had stayed on his line, Mark, he could have caught the ball in the top of his shirt, but he chose to come off his line and was beaten.
Jameli now on the edge of the box. Shot in. No trouble for South Africa, and Bebeto, the frustration beginning to show a little bit.
A bit surprised there was no fullback. Zé Maria, as you say, is an overlapping fullback, an attacking fullback. That looked an ideal place for him to overlap Jameli and get the ball wide and cross it, but they seemed to be waiting. Jameli took the man on, had a shot, and forced a corner for Brazil.
It's a curling one that Arendse has to punch out from Savio. Now he's got a bit more of an angle, headed away by Masinga. South Africa all in their own half for their corner, in fact all in their own box almost.
Well, we had 19 players around the big box there, Mark.
Khumalo under pressure. This is Radebe with Bebeto breathing down his back, making life difficult for Andre Arendse. Nkalele now. Turns past Zé Maria. Ball inside looking for Masinga. Header finds Khumalo. That's a little chip looking for Masinga. Cheeky stuff from Dr. Khumalo. Eric Tinkler. Well, if ever a man deserved a goal for South Africa, it's Eric Tinkler. Those stunning free kicks in the Nations Cup. He hit the upright, the goalkeeper's head. He hit the side netting. He had a ball cleared off the line. He's done everything but score.
I was amazed at Zé Maria's position then when Helmut Mekelele came at him. Instead of turning sideways and showing him one way, he went flat on, and Mekelele could have gone either way, and he actually came inside him and walked past him. I would have thought an international fullback would have taken a better position when being attacked by a fast winger like Mekelele than that.
Moeti, Brazil give it away. This is good running from Sean Bartlett.
Great goalkeeping as well.
That'll be a throw-in.
If he didn't come off his line there, Mark, it was another chance of scoring.
Well, South Africa certainly have taken charge after an initial jittery opening 15 minutes or so. And Dida has had his hands full.
You know what is good? Both Sean Bartlett and Masinga are making diagonal wide runs across the box. They're not being picked up by the defenders who tend to be ball watching a little bit.
This needs to be given away by Zimmerman as well.
No communication at all, was it?
To South Africa.
New South Africa. Great side.
So the last corner South Africa scored from. And Khumalo delivered a ball that can get a second one for the team just before the break now. Notes that only got 6 minutes to half time. Tinkler just couldn't get his head to that one, and Savio pushed by Sizwe Motong. It'll be a foul.
Mark actually was watching the marking of the Brazilians there, and there's actually 2 Brazilians weren't marking anybody. Now, I'd only got too many players back, but a little bit mystifying.
Alexander Lopes. Khumalo. Looking for Bartlett. Aldair with a clearing header.
With a diagonal run by Bartlett. They're causing great confusion, Masinga and Bartlett, by making runs from one side, diagonal across the other side, instead of up and down channels. And at the moment, every time a ball is played forward to a diagonal runner, we're in business. Clive Barker must be absolutely delighted there.
Tonight is Clive Barker's 24th match in charge of South Africa, and he has a rather good record: 14 wins, 6 draws and only 3 losses. 2 of those on tour to Australia, right at the start of his coaching career. And one was a rather inconsequential match in the group phase of the African Nations Cup, beaten by Egypt at this very same stadium. South Africa ending or having a run of 15 unbeaten games ended. Flavio gives it away. This Brazilian side certainly has a lot to learn. They are going to be strong contenders at the Olympic Games, where they'll be up against a very strong African contingent as well, in the form of Nigeria and Ghana. 2 countries who must fancy their gold medal chances. There's Mutau.
2 against 1 there. There's 2 South Africans against a Brazilian, and not one of the Brazilian helping out. Perhaps as is my want sometimes, I'm too critical, but I believe in that situation there, one defender shouldn't be faced by 2 forwards.
It's a good turn from Helman and Kalele. Squaring it in the middle. Masinga. Khumalo shot. Oh, South Africa are leading 2-0.
Can't believe it. Helman Mekelele goes down the right wing. He crosses the ball. He's headed out, and Dr. Khumalo hits it on the volley in the corner. I watched the Brazilians, and they actually stood off Dr. Khumalo and allowed him to shoot. But again, who cares? South Africa 2, Brazil 0.
Well, Khumalo.
Watch the replay, Mark. Actually turned the back on him. Quite incredible.
Straight through the legs, too, of the experienced captain Aldair. Look at this shot.
And the number 3 turns the back on the ball. Aldair, as you say, 47 cap tonight, and he turns his back on the ball. You'd have thought a man playing for his country would have rather got hit in the face there and turn his back and let Dr. Khumalo whack it in.
Well, big problems now for Brazil, as Khumalo has now scored his 8th goal for South Africa in international football, and goes back tied top of the all-time list along with Masinga, whose earlier goal had him marginally ahead.
Mark, that's an outstanding example how to hit a ball on the volley. He let it drop low. He just timed it sweetly. He didn't try to hit it too hard. And Mario Zagallo must be going mad. They didn't want this. They didn't come all this way to get beat. They thought they were going to come here and give us another lesson like they gave Ghana 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it's not working out that way.
Rivaldo was pulled down there, so he has a chance to see some of that famous set pieces that we know Brazil are so well renowned for. Look at this disparity in the free kick count at the moment. Andre Arendse just organising the wall. This is ominous for South Africa just before the half-time break. They're comfortably 2-0 ahead at the moment, but they can ill afford to give away a goal here. And Bebeto, number 7, looks to be the man around the ball. He'll chip it straight into the wall in the head of Neil Covey. On the roll forward. Header away from Lucas Kadebe, strong and high, and he got up well with great intent and purpose there.
He punched it away, didn't he? He didn't head that, he punched it away.
This is Flavio now. Well, there'll be tough words, I'm sure, in the Brazilian change room at half-time.
Actually, Mark, you know, if you think about pride, it's not a bad thing for Zagallo. You have a look at the side and see what they're made of. Can they come back from 2-0 down?
Khumalo. Now, if you can add a third for South Africa, and that's a great ball and a great run from Sean Bartlett just before the half-time whistle, well, this game will be pretty much dead and buried. Cross into Masinga, just over the top of his head. Well, the ball's still in play. Now, a free kick, or rather a throw into South Africa. Masinga did well there.
They're giving Doctor far too much room. I mean, Doctor's not the greatest defender in the world, but he's got great vision. He plays beautiful weighted passes, and they're giving him far too much room, and they're paying the penalty. 2-0 for South Africa.
Mutau with a cross. Moeti. Khumalo. Oh, that's cheeky. Masinga. And Flavio clearing it away.
Mark, they're getting more and more confident. Every touch, Mekelele from going from the left wing came on the right wing, and he calls the goal. Quite incredible. He really has having a perfect patch in the moment with South Africa and with the Pirates. We've got that again, Mark.
Dr. Khumalo tonight, his 33rd match for South Africa. He's the second most capped international. Signalling there with the hands on the hips. That's a short one to the near post. Oh, and South Africa got a head in there. The keeper was beaten as well. Here comes Amaraldo on the counter-attack. Can Brazil set something up? Rivaldo on his inside. He's got Savio wide as well. Bebeto, number 7. Big responsibility, I fancy, in the second half for Bebeto to try and lift these players up now. Zé Maria. That's pretty much summing up the first half performance from Amaral.
Plenty of possession, no final pass. Mario Zagallo there, great player, playing the great Pelé and the great teams of 1958 and 1962.
So, half-time here at Soccer City for Masinga's first goal after 25 minutes. And then Dr. Khumalo adding a glorious second, just 3 minutes from the half-time break. It's South Africa who are leading here at half-time against Brazil by 2-0. And certainly, Eddie, who would have thought that this would be the scoreline in those first 10 minutes when Brazil looked to be all over the home team?
No, Mark, I dreamt about it last night, but it was 2-0 at the end of the game, and I'm sure, there we got the statistics there, 16 free kicks for Brazil against the one by South Africa. But the possession, 42% to South Africa as opposed to 57. But it's no good having possession if you can't finish it. The game's all about scoring goals, and that's exactly what South Africa have done to lead the great, mighty Brazil 2-0 at half-time here at the FNB Stadium on the Wednesday night. Brazil in the sorry state have been 2-0 down to Bafana. Have had much more possession of the play, but they can't turn the possession into goals. And quite frankly, we're all delighted for South Africa, but at the same time, a little bit disappointed in the fact that Brazil are not looking like the Brazil we anticipated, we expected. The first goal was scored after 25 minutes by Phil Masinga, a corner kick by Dr. Khumalo. The keeper came, missed it, and Phil Masinga looped a header over the defender on the line to make South Africa winning 1-0. Helman Mekelele made a great run down the left wing to produce a corner from Dr. Khumalo. The second goal came when Mekelele now made a run down the right-hand side, crossed the ball, a little bit confusing, defender stood off, and Dr. Khumalo buried the ball with a perfect executed volley from just outside the penalty area, making the score 2-0 for South Africa. There we see Aldair, one of the three overaged players in the sides, going to Atlanta for the Olympic Games. South Africa on the field. I'll hand you over to Mark Gleeson.
Substitute Gerald Stober with his hands in his pockets, but that has not been the intent of South Africa tonight. They certainly have come out with all guns blazing after an initial phase of some jittery nerves. It's now the Brazilians, I fancy, who've had a right royal word in the ear from Mario Zagallo. There's Helman Mekelele, one of the stars of the show here tonight. And let's see what Brazil can do here in the second half. As we look out on the pitch, Amaral, the youngster, alongside number 6 Andre Luiz, and Amaral has not been able to turn it on in the midfield for the Brazilians. Also in the Brazilian side, we've been talking a lot about Savio. We haven't seen much of his skill tonight, but certainly in the defensive department, credit to South Africa, where Lucas Kadebe has been outstanding. But the Brazilians, on the other hand, their defence, certainly some gaping holes, which South Africa, to their credit, have exploited tonight, and 2-0 the score then at half-time. David Ellery is tonight's referee from England. He's still here on the side of the pitch. They're obviously going to make a change, the Brazilians. And
Mark, I thought they actually changed the number 8. It didn't look like Amaral, but it looks as though he's not changed, taking his jersey off. I'm a little bit disappointed in Bebeto. We watched him before the game when he was lining up when there was a little bit of a delay, and his attitude didn't seem too good, and at the moment it's been very, very disappointing, seeming as though he's doing us a favour appearing, when really and truthfully, the great Pelé, and as I said earlier, when he used to play, the trainers used to love him in Brazil because his attitude was so just the same playing his 100th game for Brazil as it was his first. Now we're kicking off, South Africa kicking from right to left-hand side.
Brazil have also made a change. They've brought on number 16, Zé Alias, who is a youngster from this under-23 setup. He's from the Corinthians club. He's 4th cap tonight, and just 19 years old. He'll be on in a defensive position. There he is, with his first touch of the ball. I'll just try and confirm for you the change that the Brazilians have made. That's Aldair, the captain. Now, Helman Kalele for South Africa.
Mark, there's a young man on here wearing number 8, and he certainly doesn't look like Amaral in the first half. He looks to me they've just changed a jersey and given it another player.
Flavio, but beaten there by Lucas Kadebe. That's his second speculative shot.
Shot from clearance.
Sizwe Mouton. Right, 33rd cap for him. South Africa's 3rd most capped player, and he was involved in the very first international game that this country played. He came on as a substitute against Cameroon. That was back in July 1992. South Africa winning by 1-0. Who else but Dr. Kumalo with the goal on that particular night. And ball by Neil Tovey. Pass was from Amaral to Zé Maria. Hit Tovey on the hand, and the Brazilians will have the free kick.
It's the first time we've seen the right fullback, Zé Maria, who's supposed to be an overlapping fullback going forward, but he looked a little bit bad on his defensive qualities there, Mark, so perhaps he'll make it up for a decent cross now. 17 free kicks to South Africa, to Brazil, 1 to South Africa.
Zé Maria knocking it in. Fish with a rather spectacular clearance. And this is Bartlett taking on Flavio. Run from Masinga. Now he's got John Moretti in space. Good shot and good save.
It's a great run by Philman Masinga. He went towards the ball and then made a forward run so he couldn't be offside, and the ball was played superbly to him. A great shot, great save.
Savio now. Can he tease the South African defence? Can he get past Sizwe Mouton? What's that going to be? A corner on the far side. Roberto looks to be the man to go across and take it.
Looked to me, Savio was impeded there, but David Ellery seems to be allowing that sort of thing to go on.
Here comes that corner, headed away by Lucas Kadebe. His goalkeeper called for it, but Kadebe was taking no chances. Tovey for South Africa, down the line. This is another good run. Helman Kalele giving chase is Flavio. Gets the ball into the middle, but that's going to be too long for Sean Bartlett. Well, there's a lot of walking now from these Brazilian players, and you wonder whether the altitude factor has come into play. Here's Rivaldo into the path of Bebeto, and that was good cover defence from Kadebe. Corner it'll be.
That's been the difference, you know, Mark, at the moment, that the South African defenders are tracking the Brazilian forwards down right within a yard of them, not giving them an inch to breathe. And every time the South African forwards, I think credit to Sean Bartlett and Philman Masinga for making these long diagonal runs, which the Brazilians don't seem able to handle at all.
Here comes the corner. Header in from, that was Alexander Lopez rather, nowhere near the goal. And I think the crowd now beginning to express a little bit of disappointment at the Brazilian team that they're seeing on view here tonight. This is not the side, certainly, that won the 1994 World Cup, nor played with such distinction in the Copa America last June. This is a team that still has a long way to go in terms of international football.
Well, Mark, we want South Africa to win, but we certainly want to see a vintage Brazil.
Kumalo straight against the new player Zé Arias, and he'll get the corner.
Dr. Kumalo held him off superbly then. Great balance. He kept the ball on his right foot and held him off with his left-hand side. Forced the corner. Clive Barker, who must be wishing it was 5 minutes from the end, not 5 minutes after half-time. What a victory. What a feat it would be for this young coach, Clive Barker, if he's managed to get a result today.
Kumalo to take the corner. Looking for a chip at the near post, header away from Flavio. Now Kumalo again, and this time up in the air from Alexander Lopes. Tinkler trying on the turn, he's still battling away there, Eric Tinkler. That's good play for the Brazilians, nice and skillful to get rid of it. with the combination of Aldair and Zé Maria. This is Amaral. Ball's played out wide and crossed in by Andre Luiz. So in case you've just joined us, South Africa is still 2-0 to the good, and they change Zé Elias for Jameni. Oh, and a good chance there, Rivaldo not getting the head onto a little bit of dangerous play from the Brazilians.
Superb run there. He dummied to shoot and he went past Neil Tovey and Radebe, pulled it across, but there wasn't anybody hungry enough in the middle to knock it in the back of the net. Mark Fish, who seems to have a completely free role to play anywhere he likes. Danger man, Helman Mekalele.
Ball finds Masinga, and they get the 1-2 courtesy of Aldair. Now the cross into the middle, and that's cleared away by Alexander Lopes. And as far as Fish takes his eye off the ball though. Sinclair playing it in to the path of Masinga now. Can he beat Aldair? Runs into a posse of Brazilian players. Yet South Africa battling for the ball. Fish in there, Kumalo as well. Rivaldo. This is Alexander Lopes again. And that's far too long for Savio on the far side. So the game seems to have died a little bit of a death in these early stages of the second half. Not much in the way of build-ups from either the South Africans nor the Brazilians.
Well, from the South African point of view, Mark, they just want to consolidate and hold this, not make any mistakes. And the Brazilians seem as though they don't know what to do.
Lueti finds Lucas, or rather, Cesar Mutong. Tony.
It simply hasn't gone the Brazilians' way. All the little deflections have gone the wrong way. They seem to be finding the ball a bit difficult in altitude, with particularly the long passes.
Rivaldo now looking for Savio. Fishes on him. Got the last touch of the Brazilians, so it'll be a goal kick.
Just that movement there, Mark, when Rivaldo got the ball, it was only really Savio made a run for him. In a situation there must be 2 or 3 guys running off the ball, and Mario Zagallo, he must be wondering what's going on. Being a great outside left himself, playing with the great Brazilian team and Pele, he must feel as he turned the clock back a few years and go and play himself.
Long one from Andre Arendse. It's a good header from Lopes. Kalele gets it forward, finds Bartlett. He's allowing the Brazilians to get back a couple of numbers now, waiting for support. Kumalo trying perhaps a little bit too much, Dr. Kumalo, but his confidence certainly is on a high. Playing superb football at the moment. He's coming up to his 30th birthday, Dr. Kumalo. It was just the other day almost when he made such a dramatic impact into South African football as a youngster with the Kaizer Chiefs club. And former Masinga too. Started his career with Jomo Cosmos, and later on to Mamelodi Sundowns, and now in the colours of Leeds United. Aldair, clumsy football. Dr. Kumalo appealing that he should have got something out of that, so I think chancing his luck a little bit with David Ellery. Andre Luiz. Lucas Radebe back to the keeper.
Mark, I hope that we're not going to go back South Africa on defence here and try to contain the 2 goals, because I think you'll give the initiative to Brazil and bring them more into the game. I think we've got to keep going at them and try to get a 3rd goal and then carry on from there. But don't let's lay off these guys, let's go at them. I'm sure Clive's told them that.
Flavio, so much was written about him going to this game. Flavio, a midfielder who's happiest playing in front of the defence. He's not scared to use a little bit of violence to stop his opponent, but well, tonight the South Africans haven't had any problem getting past him. Roberto had just 7 minutes for Brazil in the 1990 World Cup, played as a substitute against Costa Rica for the player Muller. In 1994, how effective he was.
Of course, him and Romario were a superb couple there, weren't they? They were real attacking duo in the old Brazilian mould of Garrincha and Pelé.
Rivaldo's through Neil Tovey now. Can he set something up for Brazil? This is a good run. And Eric Tinkler did ever so well with a cover defence.
Rivaldo battling there. He's really a left-footed player. He was going down the right-hand side. Instead of trying to pull it with his right foot, he tried to take it with his left foot, and that's all Eric Tinkler wanted. He gave the corner away, taken by number 11, Savio.
Well, the Brazilian journalists on the side of the pitch, they have interviews in the middle of the game. Tonight's performance from their national team. That's a free kick for Flavio. Dr. Khumalo just clipping him on the ankles there. Zé Maria now. He has been one Brazilian with a little bit of intent. Savio. Can he get past Tinkler and Tovey? Flavio. Shot. It's in the back of the net. Flavio has scored for Brazil. Set up by Savio. And now, possibly, we've got a match on our hands.
Mark, that's the first time the Brazilians have really gone wide. When the ball came out, it was played wide to Savio. He cut inside his left foot, played the ball, and they scored, making it 2-1. As you say, Mark, there it is. He cuts inside, left foot, unsighted by a Brazilian player, Bebeto, it looked like. 2-1. And I think that's exactly what the game needed, but I've sooner seen the third goal for South Africa rather than the first one for Brazil.
Arendse did get a touch to it, but it was curving from Flavio, and it was a really difficult one for the South African keeper to stop. And now that comfortable 2-0 lead has suddenly evaporated, and I fancy Brazil will now move up a gear or two and suddenly start coming at the South Africans. This will be a real test now of South Africa's mettle in terms of a growing world football power.
Certainly, let's hope so, because it was getting a little bit stale, the game. In the 12th minute, South Africa leading 2 goals to 1. A little bit of a difficult tackle. I mean, maybe sometimes that David Ellery lets these things go. That looked a real tackle from behind, taking the man and not the ball.
Andre Luiz. Amaral. This is Rivaldo, whose early running set up that goal.
A little bit more spring in the stride now, Mark, isn't there? Have you noticed?
Certainly Brazil will be buoyed by that goal. Kalele now. Aldair with a cover defence.
It's amazing, Mark, isn't it? When Helman was getting the ball early, there was 1-on-1. Now all of a sudden they scored a goal and there was 2-on-1 there. Aldair decided to come out and help Zé Maria.
This is Elias, one at half time in place of Jameli. Bebeto is looking for the corner and he gets it.
Mark, I was just looking at the substitutes bench for Brazil. They've actually only got one forward on the bench. They've got 3 defenders and 2 midfield players. So really, they've only got the number 18, Luizio, who plays for Palmeiras, age 20, to come on if they need to make a change up front.
Bebeto's corner. The near post was dealt with by Tovey. This is Bartlett. Waiting for support from South Africa. A little reluctant to get up. Mark Fisher's gone on a run. It's a nice ball from Bartlett, well weighted and nicely almost chipped forward. Masinga will let it run for Khumalo. And Kalele now. Little chip to the far post. Bartlett. It was always going to be difficult for Sean Bartlett, having to deal with Aaron Cross as well as with those big scoreboards. It could have been a nasty accident, in fact, for the South African striker.
All of a sudden the Brazilians are playing in packs. They've got 4 or 5 players around the ball, which after the first 15 minutes they stopped doing. They were playing individually.
Amaral. Bebeto.
Davies had him in his pocket. The famous last words, Mark, but really Lucas Davies not giving Bebeto a kick.
This is good work from Amaral now. Waiting for someone in the middle. Little header there from Neil Tovey, got it away. Khumalo. Aldair beats Masinga to the ball. Much more intent now from the captain. Rivaldo, Savio for Brazil. Bebeto's in the middle. Does well to turn. He's got Neil Tovey paying attention now. Oh, shot straight into the arms of Andre Arendse. shot again from Zeliash, straight into the arms of Andre Arendse.
But it was on target, Mark, and as you say, the intent is certainly better. It's amazing what a goal will do, and it's better for the game and better for everybody. John Moeti.
Moeti's got Ukulele on his left-hand side. He's got Bartlett in space on the right. She has Masinga. Very quickly now, the Brazilians showing that there's nothing like a goal to get the spirits going. They certainly have found a whole new rhythm since that goal from Flavio.
They seem also, Mark, to have picked up the fact that Helmut Mikelele is a danger man.
That was a brief glimpse of Gerald Stober and Thomas Marikake warming up. Both of them have played for South Africa before. Marikake with 1 cap, Stober with 3. Toby into Masinga. Cleared away there by Zé Elias. And yet another throw-in.
Both Marikake and Stober having good domestic seasons here in South Africa. Marikake with Pretoria City and of course Stober with Hellenic.
Masinga now being watched here by Zé Maria. He'll get the corner. Or will he? No. Referee Ellery says last touch from the South African. There's Thomas Marikake. He made his debut as a substitute for South Africa against Mauritius back in 1993. It's now more than 3 years since he played for the national team, just the 1 cap. Gerald Stober made his debut in the Four Nations Cup, played in all 3 of those matches in November last year, but didn't make the squad. Very unlucky not to make the squad for the African Nations Cup. He was the leading goal scorer in South Africa last year with 18 goals for Hellenic.
Thomas Marikake, as you well know, Mark, he's even though he's a young man, he's been overseas to England, had trials in Manchester City, been to Switzerland, and seems to have settled down quite nicely as the captain of Pretoria City now.
Zé Maria with possession for Brazil. Amaral, who's really picked up his performance after a rather poor first half. This is Savio giving chase. Andre Arendse is out there first.
Great lesson for young keepers. The ball was played over the back 4 and he played like a sweeper there, and that's what you need. The ball's over the top, give you problems. Got a keeper coming off his line, a la Bruce Gobler, saves an awful lot of problems.
You can see his right knee there, well strapped up. He had an operation on it after the Nations Cup final. Zé Maria now, he's the half-time change for Jameli, who was wearing jersey number 9. Just the 1 change for Brazil. They're allowed another 2 substitutes. South Africa have yet to make any changes, although we did get glimpses of some intent there from Clive Barker. Flavio, the goal scorer, to Amaral. Play on, says Mr. Ellery. John Moeti finds his clubmate Helmut Ukulele. Down the line now to Phil Masinga. Tinkler, Ukulele. Well, he looks a little undecided.
People standing looking at him, Mark. There's no movement off the ball for him. He had a little bit of a problem there. No passing angle to play the ball to.
Fish now. Kumalo. Fish has gone on a run. This is a good one from Mark Fish now. Square across. Oh, if that had run through to Helmut Ukulele. If Zé Maria hadn't got the foot in, there might have been something on for South Africa. Chip to the back post where the big lanky frame of former Singer. Fish on the turn, and that should be a corner. No, he won't give it. Look to have gone off a deflection. Mark Fish will tell him as much, and for his efforts will go into the referee's book. That's the 3rd caution for South Africa.
Amazing, Mark, isn't it? I mean, even from here, it looked a corner, and the guy protesting to get a yellow card. I find it quite incredible. There we go. It came off the left shoulder of Zé Maria, the number 2. Great turn by Fish. Did very well to even get a turn and a shot in there.
This is number 6, André Luiz from Sao Paulo. They used to provide the majority of the Brazilian side. Just the 1 player tonight from that famous club. This is still in play. No, it's not.
It's noticeable, Mark, now that the Brazilians have actually got 2 men wide, one on one left-hand side and on the right-hand side, providing more width, pulling the South African defence out. So when the ball goes in the middle, a little bit more space. And one of the elementary basic rules of good attacking play is width.
Good glimpse there of André Luiz. Click on there from Masinga, but Kamala not alive to the opportunity. Alexander Lopes.
Watching Aldea a little bit earlier, the centre-back, I think he was giving Phil Masinga too much room, which Masinga was really relishing in. I think this is where your strikers earn the money, Mark, when they've got the goal across the back four chasing. There's only 2 against 4.
Looks like Bartlett too has been pushed back a little bit. Khumalo and Masinga operating up front for the moment.
I think that is the way Clive wants him to play. He wants Doctor to play just behind the hole, as we call it, behind the 2 strikers.
So change coming on now for South Africa, and coming off is Dr. Khumalo, and that's not well received by the fans, but I think after the long flight from America and having arrived just 24 hours before the game, he's done the business tonight, Khumalo, and Thomas Marikake on for his 2nd cap for South Africa. What a night for him. Made his debut against Mauritius. That was that terrible goalless draw at the Rand Stadium.
But Mark, in fairness to Dr. Khumalo, he did look a little bit tired there, and I think Clive's done the right thing, and he was watching Doctor, and Doctor's a little bit tired there. As you say, he's done his stuff. The 2-0 up when he scored his 2nd goal.
Yes, this is a good run on the far side from Lopez into the middle. Oh, that was a gift opportunity for Flavio, and South Africa at 6s and 7s there.
Mark Fitz caught ball watching, a superb ball inside by number 16, Elias there. Found Flavio, he pulled the ball back, the ball was headed on for an open goal.
Well, that really should have been the equaliser for Brazil, who now are a completely different team to the one we saw in the closing stage of the first half. Look at the gaps here. Savio was also open. That was well pulled back. Great run through from Flavio, but well, he would look to be stumbling all over the place as he delivered that header, and just over the top. But South Africa well beaten on that occasion, and the crowd certainly have gone quiet since that one. Motang has some space now wide. What can he conjure up over on the far side? Marikake looking to get in on the act. Little decoy run. I don't think he intended it in the decoy run. He wanted the ball, but that's how it turned out. Lele to the back post, and this time the goalkeeper as well confidently in the air. That's a good long early ball out. Bebeto has possession for Brazil. He's the danger man. This is a great pass and a chance here for Rivaldo. Shot, yes! So easy.
I was just going to say to you, Mark, he's lost his chance. He's got no right foot. He had to pull it back on his left foot, but he bent it round Adams. A superb goal. A few more smiles down the bench from the Brazilians.
Well, South Africa's defence has gone to pot in this second half, as the Brazilians were in the first half. They've picked up a gear, and that was ever so easy for Rivaldo.
Is it right, Mark, that John Moretti must be the last man there? I mean, he's the one that went to Rivaldo there, and he bent it down there. It makes you wonder where the back 4 players have got to.
So from being 2-0 up and very much in the driving seat, South Africa now have moved from even the passenger seat. They're almost at the back of the bus in this particular game. 2-0 up at half-time, 2-2 the score at the moment, and Rivaldo's 2nd goal in the 68th minute has Brazil very much back in this game, and South Africa now with plenty of work to do. Here he is again, the goal scorer, the man from the Palmeiras club, the team that's running riot in Brazil at the moment with more than 80 goals in 18 matches. He scored a couple of them.
All the men in the squad of 18 as well, Mark, 3 on the pitch when the game started.
Zé Arias, that's a little too much for Zé Maria, but the Brazilians now look a completely different side, and South Africa have had to take the back seat here. A handball by Amaral.
We made a remark earlier, Mark, about the South African side already going through the middle. Everything's coming wide now. I actually thought the Brazilian was obstructing Helman Mekaleli there, and the free kicks would have certainly gone South Africa's way.
Well, he counts as being completely against South Africa as far as free kicks are concerned. I'm not saying Mr. Ellery is a Brazilian in a purple shirt, but certainly that one might have gone the other way around. He'll be one of the officials at the upcoming European Championships.
Wasn't it a shock, Mark, to see Andre Aronson beaten like that so easy? I mean, he's done so well. He's only got 2 goals in all the games there. And when Rivaldo got the ball there, he looks as though he'd missed a chance because he couldn't kick with his right foot. He brought it on his left foot and he bent it in the far corner without any apparent effort at all. And it was such a shock to see Aronson completely beaten.
It's only the 4th goal then that Andre Aronson has conceded in the South African jersey. He's 11th cap tonight, and the first time he's let in more than 1 in a single game. Which takes it early. Mueti now. Eric Tinkler. He's got to come forward and help out Thomas Marikake. This will be a corner off Aldair. If the referee gives it, yes it does. Worrying times now for Clive Barker. He knows he was sitting on a memorable scoreline going into the second half.
He couldn't have dreamt that, Mark, could he? He couldn't have dreamt of going in at half-time 2-0. And he's worked hard. He deserves the position he's got. He's a great motivator. The players idolise him, and I hope he and the players don't let each other down now. Magic now if he can score a goal and make it 3-2 and really raise everybody's hopes.
And Kalele is the man who's gone over to the far side to take the set piece. Kadebe got a touch to it. Tinkler will be first to the ball for South Africa. Masinga signalled early when he wanted the ball. Now takes on Aldair here. He's got lots of confidence for Masinga against this quality centre-back. This time the goalkeeper once again has suddenly found his nerve in the air as well. And Sean Bartlett didn't have any chance of getting that one.
Aldair looked a little bit slow and cumbersome then.
And then from Roma in the Serie A, and he'll be playing against Mark Fish next season, no doubt. In the big Rome derby, of course, headed for Lazio.
Mark, you say that, but from the reports, Aldair has been struggling for AS Roma in Serie A and not really been having a good season. Possibly looking to come back on to Brazil, along with Bebeto, who's struggling at Deportivo Coruna, where he and John Toshack, the ex-Liverpool player, who's now the manager there, seem to have the problems.
So Joel Masilela is in line for his debut for South Africa. Very good idea to make a change at a corner, but this is what South Africa are going to be doing.
Particularly a defensive corner, Mark.
And Joel Masilela from Mamelodi Sundowns, who was brought into this squad, will be taking the place of John Mueti. They'll be looking obviously to score a 3rd goal, because Masilela will be a player who will be taking on the defenders. He becomes the 54th man to win a cap for South Africa, and Joel Masilela from Mamelodi Sundowns, otherwise known as Fire, makes his debut for the home side.
Another young man who's having a great season, Mark, really doing the business there for Mamelodi Sundowns down the right-hand side. Taking his man on, coming inside, having a few shots. An excellent move, I think, in view of the fact that Mueti also looked to his title a little bit. A man who's been struggling with injury last few weeks, Mark, John Mueti.
By my watch, we've got 12 minutes left in this game. Wonder now if the Brazilians will be content to sit on this lead, or whether they're going to go for the victory. South Africa certainly have thrown their cards into the hat by bringing on Masilela.
A forward for a midfield player, which is excellent tactics by Clive Barker.
Amaral, this Marikake beaten by Rivaldo. Gets the long-range shot in, this time was blocked by Neil Tovey. Here's Helmut Kalele now. Sees the defence so well in the first half. Looking for Masinga. Aldair has the time to just knock it forward and find Savio. Good running on the overlap. This is good stuff from the Brazilians now. Andre Luiz, wide and high and over the top.
Well, it's the first time we've seen either fullback, Mark. In the first half, neither one of the forwards, either Andre Luiz or Zé Maria, were coming forward. Both goals have come from width. Players going down the side, and I think it indicates that Brazil are trying to win the game.
Matong and Kalele once more. Support inside from Marikake. He hasn't really had a chance to run at this defence yet. That's one of his strong points. Now, first touch for Joel Masilela in South African jersey, and he's going to be taking on Zé Maria. Running himself into a bit of trouble. Eric Tinkler has to help him out there. Gets the chip into the far post. The keeper under pressure from Masinga. And the referee will give the free kick for Masinga bashing into Adida.
Mark, I always find that a difficult decision. I'm not blaming the referee, but a forward has to go for the ball. He must jump. He can't jump and then just stop. And he really was genuinely going for the ball, and I think the keeper dropped the ball there without any help from Masinga.
Nice chip in from Eric Tinkler. Difficult for him in terms of balance. And Masinga's body hanging into the keeper, but he's intent, as you say, Eddie, certainly to go for the ball.
Well, his actually contact with number 4, Alexander, actually turned him round. I think that wouldn't have happened if he hadn't contacted Alexander first, but difficult decision, but it makes one wonder what a striker has to do in those situations. He can't jump up for the ball and then just drop straight down. He must follow through.
So I'm sure they're a little happier now down there on the Brazilian bench.
You wouldn't think it, would you, looking at them there?
Free kick. Dida to take it. He played, of course, in the Copa America. That was the South American Championship last year in Uruguay. Got the last 2 games for Brazil, including the final.
He's relatively inexperienced, Mark, from international. He's only on his 5th cap tonight, so there's a lot of international inexperience from the Brazilian.
Martinelli now. He's got to deliver that final ball forward. He has a long-range effort.
Season attempt.
First time that he's had a shot on goal.
Well, you know, Mark, of course, he scored 2 goals the other night, I think, against Pretoria City, and another goal again, so he's fancying his chance from the edge of the box. Both the 3 goals he scored, I believe, were superb shots from outside the area.
So time is running out here for both these 2 teams. 2-2 the scoreline here at Soccer City. Really a tale of 2 halves between these 2 teams. So South Africa so dominant in the first half, and now Brazil fighting their way back. First to the ball, denying Bebeto. Now Marikake, nice to see him take on these Brazilian defenders. He loves to run with the ball at his feet and go the direct route to goal.
We haven't seen too much of Bebeto, even in the resurgence of the Brazilians in the second half. He seems to have faded completely.
There's Mark Fish on one of those storming runs. Helman Mkarele couldn't deliver the return pass. Rivaldo got past Toby to score his goal. Couldn't get past him this time. Amaral.
Mark Toby's had a quiet game for his normal standards as well, Mark.
Savio. Finds Bebeto. Come back and forage and look for the ball. We play the 1-2 with Amaral. Tickler got a foot in there. Header away by Sizwe Mutong. It's all Brazil now in South Africa's half. Roberto once more. Tinkler with some good cover defence there. Sean Bartlett's giving chase. Just one substitute used so far by the Brazilians. The change which saw Zé Elias come on, and I don't think Mario Zagallo is going to risk too much in the second half. I think after that stunning reversal in the first half, he's more than content to sit on this 2-all scoreline. Fish now. Mkalele to Masinga, looking to flick it onto Fish. That was well done by Zé Elias.
I think this man's made a big improvement in the Brazilian side. He's held the ball, he's had a good left foot, he's passing superb.
Arlenso will beat Bebeto to the ball.
Great goalkeeping.
Oh, he did well. Helman Mkalele, that's great skill. Well, the linesman says the ball was out. Difficult to judge from up here. And now South Africa will be making yet another change, and Gerald Stober looks like he's the man who's coming on, his 4th cap.
Sean Bartlett coming off by the looks of it, Mark.
And I think the long travel from the United States has caught up with Bartlett as well, so Clive Barker resting his foreign legion, and Gerald Stober replacing Sean Bartlett. Now Masilela, he's got to take him on. Battling away there with Flavio, couldn't get past him. Well, he's certainly got a rough introduction to international football, Joel Masilela. 3 runs now at the defence, and all 3 times nothing he's been able to put together. Bebeto's free! Kadebe was beaten. That's a glorious chance, and Brazil should have wrapped it up there. But Lucas Kadebe looked to slip almost, and presented a gift opportunity for Bebeto. And Andre Aronson knows he should have put that away.
Well, if he can't score from there, where's he going to score? One-on-one with the keeper. A slight angle. I thought a little dummy replayed in the corner. He seemed to lose his head, tried to bend it, and it went over the crossbar. As you say, Mark, an absolute open goal and a big let-off for South Africa.
Stober to Thomas Marikake. Stober again. Now Mkulele, he hasn't had a shot to goal in the second half. He was peppering it in the first half, this time with the left foot. And is he going to get the free kick? Zé Elias with a rash challenge. And maybe here's the stage for Eric Tinkler. Let's have a look at it again.
I thought the ball had gone there, Mark. I really found it difficult to understand the free kick there. He did throw himself in, but the ball's at least 10 metres away.
Let's see what Tinkler can do now. Oh, that's not up to his usual standard, Eric Tinkler.
It looked to me as though they took that a little bit too urgently. I don't think Tinkler was even ready to kick that. I think he should have just taken the time, and Eric wants to bend it this way, actually went the other way. What a chance Bebeto had there. I can't get over it. Really, he's contributed nothing to the game. And when he gets the chance of being the glory boy and winning the game for Brazil, he fluffs it.
Away from Fish. Savio. That's Masilela's flick on to Gerald Stober. Masilela once more. Forced to play it back to Mark Fish. Did well there under pressure from Savio. Now the crowd urging South Africa on. We've got 5 minutes left in this game. Fish, that's a good running from Thomas Marikake. Now turns it in, Gerald Stober. He had his sight set on goal. Just his positioning was a little bit out. And in the end, the corner.
Great ball by Thomas Marikake. The ball played into space. He turned and he crossed it, giving Gerald Stober a chance. But great early ball by Marikake. Running the wrong way, turns his body, pulls it back. Good effort.
Now the first South African goal came from a corner, delivered by Kamalo. He's off. Masilela will take this one. Floats it in. Fish gets the header. Aldair finding the big frame of Rivaldo, who's certainly come alive in the second half. Can he set something up for the Brazilians here? Goes through 2 tackles now. Great chance here for Amaral. Answer did well. But what a good run from Rivaldo. He certainly has been a major factor for Brazil in the second half. Not only did he score the equalising goal, but he has looked to be a completely different player from the first half. Now Mark Fish. Masilela.
Mark, the difference with the Brazilians.
Marikake with the shots.
The difference with Brazilians is that Savio has gone wide on the left-hand side. In the first half, he and Rivaldo were vying in a left midfield position. Savio's gone wide, and he's given Rivaldo more room, more space, and he's helped both of them. They've got width, and he's been able to come into the game a little bit more.
There's the Vice President Thabo Mbeki in the middle of your picture. Header from Tinkler. That's a good ball. I'll withdraw them comments. Too long for Savio.
Have you noticed, Mark, though, the Brazilians, one thing they have got, they've got great balance. When they get in a tackle, they seem to be able to hold people, great physical strength in the legs. Five minutes to go, 40th minute, South Africa 2, Brazil 2.
Amaral.
He's also come into the game a lot more in the second half. As this young man, Zia Maria, is attacking down the right-hand side, which he wasn't doing in the first half. Great cross, bent.
Oh, excellent goal from Bebeto.
Do you know, so did it. It seems like the easier thing was to head it. He laid back and volleyed it.
Oh, look at Zagalo. Isn't he enjoying this? Well, he's done nothing all day.
Well, it came from Zia Maria. He went down the line. He pulled the ball across. He laid back Bebeto. Surely, Mark, that was the hardest thing to do. The easy thing might have been headed in. But that's the Brazilians. We've criticised Bebeto, me in particular. But he put his money where his mouth was there. A great volley. Anderson, no chance.
And once again, South Africa is marking all over the place. But Bebeto, well, that's why you have a player like him in the team, and you can afford to carry him for close on 90 minutes. 4 minutes left, and suddenly Brazil leads South Africa here by 3 goals to 2. And, well, the home team absolutely stunned now by the comeback by these Brazilians in the second half.
We carried Bebeto for 85 minutes, Mark, as a matter of fact. What a goal. Really, what can you say about that? The ball's played over, he lay back, he was horizontal when he hit it, kept it low. Brazil 3, South Africa 2. What a great shame.
Sinclair. Taken over by Thomas Marikake. Helmut Mkulele has to give chase. Can he keep it in play? Well, that throw-in is going to be given South Africa's way.
Mark, I only hope that people don't start pointing fingers at Clive Barker for making changes. Clive knows his player better than anybody, and I'm sure both Maeti and in particular Kamalo were tired by the long fights, and also the striker Sean Bartlett, yeah. And let's hope that they give credit to Brazil in the second half, not criticise somebody like Clive Barker.
Marikake, it's too close to the goalkeeper. Forced to punch though. Only as far as Amaral, Rivaldo. South Africa have only lost 3 home matches.
Mark Fish caught ball watching the game. Savio got blindside of him.
There he is, Savio now, teasing Mark Fish. Goes past him, pulls it inside. That'll be a corner off of Lucas Radebe.
Perhaps we're being a bit harsh there on Mark Fish. Where was Caesar Matong? He's supposed to be playing right fullback there. And every time the ball's played by Rivaldo, diagonal ball, Savio seems to get blindside all the time.
This will be taken by Andre Luiz. Header away from Mkulele.
This is the man that's made a big difference, really. Elias, superb left foot, great control, he's been changing the play. I think he's making a meal out of that.
Well, they get the free kick nevertheless. They want to keep on playing these Brazilians.
And he's running fine now. Full marks to the referee for just ignoring that little performance there.
Rivaldo keeping it in play.
Little game of keep ball now with Bebeto and Rivaldo. Elias has done so much to change the complexion of this game.
Well, they're happy now to give South Africa a little bit of their own medicine. This is what South Africa were doing in the Nations Cup against their opposition when they were sitting on a comfortable lead.
An old Kaiser Chiefs trick.
Masinga, little chip inside, looking for Stober. Gets the cross in to the far side. No one there. A little bit too strong from Gerald Stober. Masinga might have actually chosen the option of playing over to his right-hand side. There was a bit more space there.
And the ball would have gone away from the goals and not towards it. But I really thought the goalkeeper was staying on his line there. I think this is one of the criticisms. He doesn't come off his line, and he put his defence in trouble there by staying on his line. But I think you're right about Masinga. The ball played the other side would have been a bit more lucrative.
Flavio. Bebeto certainly wants to play football. He's come looking for the ball. This is Zé Maria now. Only two in the middle there for the Brazilians.
They have this superb ability of being able to go to line and bend the ball away from the keeper and towards the oncoming forward. Zé Maria, who did nothing in the first half, and quite a revelation down his right-hand side in the second half.
Well, time certainly now is running out for South Africa.
Superb control clearance there.
Aldair, Zé Elias.
And we hear the old chants mark of Brazil. Brazil. Again, a ball inside the fullback.
That'll be a corner. Last touch was from Joel Masilela, the debutant tonight.
Mark, that's the problem with playing with a sweeper who's too deep. You can hit balls behind fullbacks and the sweeper plays a man on side. He can be cheating and getting behind the fullback, but the sweeper plays him on side. And I think that's where the Brazilians have really caught South Africa out at the moment.
Roberto to take this one. Brazil have just three men in that penalty area. Rivaldo, Savio and Lopes. And Arendse collects at the second attempt. He's got to get the troops going now. Time is running out for the home team. In fact, there's the final whistle from referee David Ellery. So Brazil have come back from being 2 goals down at the break to beat South Africa by 3 goals to 2 in this match. And despite the early goal from Phil Masinga and the goal from Dr. Khumalo just before the break, Brazil fighting their way back, first from Flavio, then from Rivaldo, and then a magnificent effort from Bebeto to give Brazil a 3-2 victory here over South Africa in this Nelson Mandela Inauguration Challenge match.
Mark, we've got to say that the South African guys did superbly well. I think we would have set them for a 3-2 defeat before the game. They played the world champions. They played a team that will probably win the gold medal in Olympia in Atlanta this year, and I think they've done very, very well. And all praise to Clive and his players.
Well, let's have a look at the statistics. Brazil in the end got 16 shots at goal to South Africa's 15, so not much in it, but Brazil double the number of shots on target that the Brazilians had. And in the end, the 3 goals to 2 is the scoreline that really matters.